pretty big object. It's probably about this big altogether. It's metal, so it's going to cause a lot of damage. It broke all 3 layers of the protective, the windshield. They didn't give way, but they did fracture, and so enough glass fragments came off that it injured the captain. And you can imagine how startled they were in the cockpit, but we actually train for these sort of things. So it's called the startle effect. And if anything startles you, for instance, an engine fire light comes on, or a windshield cracks unexpectedly and glass is flying everywhere, or there would be, let's say, an explosive depressurization in the airplane, maybe a window in the back let loose and all the pressurization goes out at once in the aircraft, we're to break the startle effect by the pilot at the controls saying, "My aircraft." And that starts the sequence of events of everybody going into their role and what they do. So let's say I'm flying. I would say to my co-pilot, "My aircraft." The co-pilot then would go and open up the manuals, look for a checklist, right? An appropriate checklist. And then the 2 of us would begin to work that checklist together. One of the things they had to do in this incident was they had to descend rather quickly to 10,000 feet. So let me show you a picture of the checklist that we use. In this checklist, right about 2/3 of the way down says descend to 10,000 feet. Why? Well, if you've fractured or put in jeopardy all 3 of those structural layers of the windshield, it's very likely that one of them or all 3 of them are going to give way completely, and you're going to lose pressurization inside the airplane. So in order to breathe and not have the rubber jungle, all the masks drop in the back, you're going to descend rather rapidly down to 10,000 feet. We call it an emergency descent. It's not really all that big of an emergency, but we do want to get to it in a timely manner. So, you hit flight level change, you dial in 10,000 feet, you grab the boards and pull them out, pull the engines to throttle, and you start down as quickly as you can while you're declaring a mayday, mayday, mayday on the radio. I'm sure that these United pilots handled that brilliantly as they diverted into Salt Lake. They were on their way from Denver to LA, I think. They diverted into Salt Lake. Lots going on in those first few seconds after something hits your windshield. And first of all and foremost is to make sure that nobody's hurt. They can still, they didn't get any glass in your eyes. Then make sure that your aircraft is still intact and it's still flying well. They did all of those things. They worked the checklist. They communicated with everybody on the outside. And then we have to tie a ribbon on it and go, what in the world happened? Well, now we know what happened. It was a weather balloon, all right, by Windborne Company. And the CEO, John Dean, told us what happened. And he's working with the NTSB and the FAA to get to the bottom of it. But now you know. I'm Captain